Have you thought how just by removing language barrier, you can make the work environment a much safer place to work? Today, my guest is Oscar Garcia, who was born in Mexico and is an entrepreneur here in California, helping construction industry with his mobile app Need2Say. So welcome to the show, Oscar. Please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Mr. Sinha, thank you so much for inviting me to your program, the Startup Pulse. It's really an honor to be here, and I'm excited about this.
Great. So, Oscar, tell me a lot more about Need2Say. How this idea came to your mind. What is your background that you saw that there are the language barrier, and because of that, the managers and the workers are not able to communicate with each other in a much friendly fashion, which will ultimately help the industry by reducing the work-related injuries and whatnot.
Absolutely. So, long story short, back in 2011, I went to the University of Alabama at Birmingham to get a master's in education, and it was in applied linguistics. I wanted to understand how languages are acquired, how languages are taught. And so that was the beginning of into this world of languages, right? Fast forward, when I graduated from the university, I started teaching at that university. I had students from around the world, and it was great, and I saw how an international student, just by learning English, how he changed his entire life, right? Being able to access education, either bachelor's, master's, PhDs, and things like that. And being from Mexico, my dad came to this country back in the 60s, and he used to work for the construction industry. And, he used to tell us that this language barrier that he had, that he couldn't communicate. There were so many issues, so many problems, so many missed opportunities. And for a long time, I had this idea of, I want to do something about this. And I remember back in 2018, I went to the headquarters of Duolingo in Pittsburgh, because I wanted to share with them some of the ideas that I had. Anyhow, so I went to Pittsburgh. They gave us a tour at the Duolingo headquarters. I even got the chance to speak with the founder, Luis Bon, who is from Guatemala. And I'm like, he's from Guatemala. I'm from Mexico. I'm sure he's going to talk to me. And so I went there, and as I start to learn about Duolingo, I quickly learned that the way they teach any language, it's more like a grammar book in a kind of like in a gamified way. So you're not really learning. Basically, what you're learning is more like grammar and things like that. And I thought, I think I can do this better. So I came back from that trip from Pittsburgh, and I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to start my own company. So that's how I decided to start Need2Say.
So basically, you looked at one of the company which you thought that is going to help, or is in this industry. But as soon as you met with them, did some research, you found where the gaps were, and if you could just help with your new company bridge that gap, then you have a business.
If you ask international students, if you ask any immigrant in this country, and if you're like, hey, would you like to learn English? And they will say, of course. But one of the problems is that if you want to go to a university to learn the language, it costs between $8,000 to $10,000 for 3 months of ESL classes, which is very expensive. And then if you want to use one of those apps, like in this case Duolingo, at that time, if I remember having this conversation with the founder, and I said, hey, Luis, we're here at this hotel. Let's say that I'm visiting. I lost my phone charger. I want to go to the front desk. Can Duolingo help me say I lost my phone charger? And he said, no, he cannot help you with that. He can only teach you grammar. And I was like, I want an app that can help you say what you need to say. That's what the name Need2Say, because I wanted something that was going to help you right on the spot, that was going to help you communicate and learn that, and just be able to go there and just be able to say it.
So basically, this is wonderful. So you take your phone out, you click on Need to Say, you record in your native language, and the output will be in English. A quick translation.
Yeah, basically, back in 2019 when we started Need2Say, our goal was to help international students and immigrants in general to just be able to go either just type what you needed to say, and then a real person was gonna come out and you will going to hear the pronunciation of the word from a native speaker. And if you check the Need2Say app, you'll see that we have the mouth movement. You can only see the mouth and hear the pronunciation, which makes you feel more confident by the way you say it. And one of the main issues for people learning any language, they will tell you, I know how to read it, I know how to write it, but when it comes to speaking the language, it's really hard. So that's the part where we wanted to focus more on that specific skill.
Okay, so wow, this is fascinating, very fascinating. Let's go back to your education. So you did your bachelor's degree in Mexico. First thing, when did you start speaking in English? When was that? In your early childhood, in your school days, or when you come here to America?
I was 21 years old when I started to learn English. I always wanted to learn the language before, but I remember back in Mexico, my cousins from California used to come every summer, and I would listen to them in this like strange language, and I was like, what is that? And so I always told my dad, take me with you, and he was like, no, you're good here, you stay here. And I didn't understand, anything of like zip codes and things like that. My dad was thinking about that. He was like, no, you're better here than there, where I can. If I take you there, you won't be able to go to a good school. So I was like thinking about that up until I came here. So in Mexico, when I went to college, I took some English courses and things like that, but it was never enough. And I was like, but I was self motivated, and I was always reading things about how to acquire a language, pronunciation, and things like that. And so I was like, you can tell that's my passion. I was like, I want to learn that. And so it took me about 2 years to get a scholarship to study abroad. And basically, I could pick any country in the world, any place. So I was like, okay, I want to go to the US, and I want to go to Alabama. And that time they were like, Alabama, like why Alabama, right? And then for me, the reason was because I have family there, and I was like, I have family there. At least if something happens, I can just go and try to see if they can help. But that was the back then. I didn't really have like classes of English, or I didn't have the opportunity to come to the U.S. and learn the language or things like that.
Wow, how proud your father and your whole family will be.
Oh, thank you.
Going back for the benefit of my, audience, August 2003 to December 2008, you are not speaking English. You are in Mexico, doing your bachelor's degree in sustainable tourism. And from there, you got a scholarship. You chose Alabama because your family was there. You did Masters of Arts, MA degree. And from there to Stanford University Graduate School. That is fascinating. So
thank you.
Who are not speaking English till the age of 21 is here with me on this podcast, who went to Stanford. Tell me the story from Alabama to Stanford.
It's been a long journey. I always tell, back when I was a teacher, I used to tell my students, dream big, think big, like, go after the things that you really want in this world. But one of the things, that I used to tell them was, you have to be patient, because it takes time. It's not fast. It's not simple. I remember back, Mr. Sinha, in 2013, right after I graduated from the University of Alabama, I actually wanted to get a PhD at UC Irvine. And that was my dream. And that's, you'll find out why I'm here now. And so that was my dream. But I remember that I applied several times and I spoke with some of the professors from the School of Education, UC Irvine, and they said, at that time I was already married and I had a little girl. And they said, Oscar, if you want to come to Orange County, there's no way you can afford Orange County with, a family of 3, and with the scholarship we can give to you and the stipends. There's no way. And for me, like, I was, oh my goodness, like, what can I do? Like, I was always thinking, what should I do to be able to make that dream come true? And so that was around the time when I was thinking, like, maybe, okay, I'm going to work at the university. I'm going to save some money, and then, I'll see what else I can do. That's when I had this idea of starting my company. But fast forward, when in 2020, during the pandemic, in September 2020, I moved to Irvine here in Orange County. And I just, you know what they say about entrepreneurs, right? You basically, if you're an entrepreneur, you're gonna, jump off the edge of a mountain and then
Yes.
build a parachute right on the way down, right? Build the airplane. And so for me, that's kind of like that leap of faith that I had, and then the opportunity to go to Stanford and start, start this program at Stanford kind of came along that time when I moved to Orange County here.
Right. Wow.
Yes.
Super nice. So let's talk about Need2Say.
Sure.
Where the company right now? Where are you in your journey? How many people are working for it? How many customers you have? Are you in fundraising mode? And take us through the journey.
Absolutely. So, again, going back to 2019, when I started Need2Say, the goal was to come up with, help international students and immigrants improve their English communication skills. We pivoted in February 2020. We pivoted because we saw that there was this huge problem in the construction industry. Basically, each year, more than 5,000 Hispanic workers die in the U.S. It's like a huge problem in the construction industry. And then when you start to do a research, you see that language is one of the main issues. And so we thought, okay, international students, they have resources, they can go to school, they can go take classes, but immigrants, they don't have any of those things. Like, what if we pivot? So we pivoted. We were just about to pilot our MVP at that time when the pandemic hit. And so, we basically 2021, we couldn't do anything. Companies, even if the construction industry was deemed as an essential business, there was nothing we could do. But we always kept the idea alive, and we were like, we know that there's a need, we should do something about it. So in 2022, we got back and we started to work with construction companies. We started to understand, okay, what is it that you need? How can we help you? And 2022 was this learning process of like, what should we do? And then in 2023, that's when we achieved product market fit of like learning the needs of Hispanic workers, American workers, and the industry in general. So we launched our current beta. We launched the beta in November. So far, we have made close to $45,000 in sales from the pilots that we started. And so right now we have, huge construction companies using our app like Turner Construction, Gaylor Electric, Brasfield and Glory, huge construction companies that make billions of dollars a year. And we're really very excited. And so at right now where we are is we in the company, we're 5. So we're a diverse team. Long Jun Lee, he was one of my students at the University of Alabama. He's got a master's in computer science. He's expert in AI. And then we have, basically the entire team is from that people that came along during that time. And so where we are right now, so we are raising a C round so that, by the way, we just got our patent approved. We have this AI patent that we filed, and we're super excited because it got approved. And so now we want to raise this money so that we can finish that. And this is going to be a game changer for the construction industry and the way they train their workers.
Mm-hmm. Wow, congratulations, Oscar. So
thank you.
Have you thought of getting some non-dilutive funds like, government grants and all? Because really it is, the way I see this company is, it is doing good work, and it is not just going to be commercially good for you, but, you are really bringing in a change. So I feel that there must be government grants out there which you should look at. So have you done any exploration in that area?
We are exploring that right now. There's I've been helping some of the professors from the University of Alabama. And I started working with a professor from Fresno State University from the Department of Construction, because we want to, now that we have traction and that we have users, we want to use that data to be able to prove to them and get some grants, apply for some of those grants. And so that's one of our goals right now, some of the goals that we have. And like you said, the impact, yes, we're trying to help construction companies reduce accidents, improve productivity, and at the end of the day for them, increase profitability. But the impact, that we're having right now on construction workers, that is the best part. Because, I just recently, there was this accident at a bridge in Baltimore. I don't know if you remember, there were like seven Hispanic construction workers die on that bridge, and it got people's attention, right? But things like that happen every single day, and the thing is that people think, oh, like there were this unfortunate event, but if you think about on the tragedy that represents for the families of those workers, it's huge. So it's like we feel really good that we're doing something that is going to have that positive impact on those workers and on the families of those workers, because we want them to be safer, get back home safe, and thrive also in the construction industry.
Right. This is amazing. Do you have any employees here? How you're developing this software?
Absolutely, we do. We have 2 developers here. We just hired a marketing manager, because we're now that we went through the product market fit. Now we want to start with our go-to-market strategy. We just hired a marketing manager, and we have now a full-time UX UI designer. And so there are many changes that we have made to the app, to the dashboard, because I want you to think about this tool this way. If you imagine a pyramid, the majority of the technology for the construction industry was built for the top of the pyramid, for the architect, the foreman, the safety manager, all of these people. But right at the bottom, you have what they call the skilled workforce, which are the majority of the immigrant workers. And there is where the majority of the accidents happens. But for years, for decades, these workers never had access to any type of technology. And that's what we're changing with the Need2Say app, because in the app, they're not only going to be able to communicate directly with their managers, but also they will be able to get insights into OSHA safety insights, regulations. If you're like, I'm working with this power tool, I don't know how to use it, you can just ask the question. It will show you how to use it, because it will get access to the safety manual of the company. So there's some really cool things happening right now with the things that we're working on.
So I like your tenacity with the focus. You are just focusing on construction worker, and Need2Say is not just, it is much bigger and much more than just a translation app.
Right? Oh, yes, absolutely. That's one of the things that now on the marketing campaign that we started, we want to tell people this is not just about because what we have, it's a chat where, you send me a message in your native language, I'll see it in my native language. You send me an audio in your native language, I'll be able to see it in my native language. And we have been building this large language model that improves the translation for the construction industry, because the terminologies for the construction industry, the way they communicate is very different. Someone from Alabama, I actually kind of joke about this. Someone from Alabama will say, "Hey, where's the hammer?" And then someone else says, "Oh, it's over yonder." Traditional translators won't translate those things. It will be not an accurate translation. And also, you have workers from Mexico, Central, South America with different Spanish varieties that doesn't do a good job when they communicate. The translation doesn't do a good job. So that's what we're building, this special system that improves the translation of those workers. But that is only one feature, because the other features that we have, it's so that, workers can get access to the safety manual of the companies. And the safety manual, this is really interesting, Mr. Sinha. Construction companies don't want to share their safety manual with the internet, the ChatGPTs of the world, Google, or any of those things. It's proprietary. It's their information. It's very important. So what we have done is that we figure out a way on how, you as a worker, you can ask a question, and the question may come from the safety manual, it may come from the internet, it may come from different sources, but your safety manual is not going to be shared with any of these sources. And then also, construction companies, they can upload safety videos, share those videos with your workers, track that, add a quiz if you want. You can upload forms, documents, and also, share that with your workers. So it's not just the translation aspect. It's like all of these, features that came out from workers, and we're like, if this can help us do this, it's going to make us a lot safer. And finally, just really quick, we're just about to launch this really new feature. And this is more about announcements, alerts, so that if there's a fire, if there's a tornado, bad weather, whatever, this is where it's going to alert workers in a completely different way. So we're excited about this new things.
Very nice, very nice. So I can just see, when you don't only have customers here in US, but I think Need2Say have the ability to explore other international markets also, more so in Middle East, where there are a lot of Indian workers whose native language is either Hindi or a local language in South India, and they are working in the Middle East. So, there could be some, good potential for market expansion one day once you have really conquered the US market. So great things, Oscar. You are really on something very, very big. So getting back to your employee, I know you said that, you have hired a UX UI. There are a lot of support available, you can hire resources in South America, in India, through a model called EOR services. So because, in the life of a startup founder, cash is king, and, the cash is...
Yes.
Yes. You have to spend on so many things. So you have to keep reinventing yourself. You have to keep looking that from how I can, without compromising the quality, how can I can get the quantity and the deliverables. So EOR service is available to you. If you want to explore that, I'll be more than happy to talk to you. Other than that, I see that, not only for government grants, but, you will also qualify for R&D credit. I don't know if you have tried for it or not. If not, have you done the community someone, because what you are doing with your app and, the language processing which is happening in the back and, whatnot, they will, I'm sure it will qualify for R&D credit. And the way R&D credit works, Oscar, and for the benefit of my audience also, if you're a startup founder, if you are doing any research-related payroll, so for example, you have a AI engineer whose 80% of the time is going in research or R&D, then you get a tax break on the payroll taxes. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, so I can introduce you to someone. They are partners with us, and they do a great, phenomenal job. And then you are also doing fundraising. So let's talk about a little bit about your fundraising. How much you are raising? What is the instrument you are raising through? And we will discuss about it. Yeah, go ahead, Oscar.
Absolutely. No, thank you so much for sharing that. I definitely need to learn more about that and apply to some of those things. And we're definitely, especially, it was probably about 2 months of intensive research work when we were writing our grant. And some of the great things is that since we were, I tell people it's not easy to be a minority founder and sometimes in this landscape. But there's some really good things sometimes. We had this there's this special program where if you are a first-time filer for a patent, you can get, basically your application will get expedited. And that's what happened to us. So we skipped the line and went like really fast through this program. First-time filer, I think that's what it's called. So that was great. Yeah, so where we are right now, we and the way we're trying to raise some money right now is, so we're trying to raise 1.5 right now, and so we have this, basically the two options that we have is that we have the safe, we have the preferred stock as well. So I think I've been told many times, like, okay, know exactly what this money is gonna do to you. What is it? What are going to be the outcomes of this? We raised money before. We raised back in 2020, and it was angel investors from Birmingham, Alabama, that they trust us and they believed in us, and we're super thankful. Right now, and I remember at that time, people were telling me here in California, they were like, "Why are you raising money in Alabama? Why don't you raise money here?" And I used to say, "Well, because I don't know a lot of people here. I just don't know." And I came here during the time where during the pandemic it was hard to meet people and things like that. Now everything has changed. For instance, we have been part this week of the Irvine Tech Week and things like that, and so there are many amazing, things here in Orange County that I'm part of right now. And I know all of these people. One of the reasons, a testament of that, it's you, right? I got to know you through all of these, awesome programs that we have here for entrepreneurs. And so now everything is changing, because now, we're raising this money here. There was a program from Fresno that we were part of that program, and we, won a pitch competition. We got some money from there as well. So it's kind of like our goal right now is like, okay, if we can get these resources to finish our patent technology and then, get this much traction, because we know that the valuation of the company is going to go up with the traction we're having. It's really interesting that you mentioned, you're the second person you mentioned this to me. We're working with Turner, like I said, and in a construction site in LA. And it turns out that one of the safety managers is from Saudi Arabia. And when he saw what we have, he was like, you know what? I need to make introductions so that you can start, you need to start promoting this in the Middle East, because this is badly needed. Like all these people having all this issue, dying, all these things. And I was like, oh, that would be amazing. So you were the second person that said that to me. So yeah. So in a nutshell, we're raising 1.5, let's say, and really hoping to connect with, investors, venture firms, and things like that. Any of that, it's more than welcome right now.
Yeah. So Oscar, I will give you a couple of nuggets today about fundraising.
Please.
As you know, I'm an angel investor, and I'm also part of the group TIE, the Indus Entrepreneur. But you are doing great things here in moving into the ecosystem.
Thank you.
To the person who said that, why are you raising funds in Alabama? Why not California? I'll tell you one thing. the color of money is green all around the world.
Yep. Yep.
All around the world.
That's very true.
Here in California, be it Los Angeles, be it Bay Area, there is a lot of competition. There is a big pot of money, but people work with people, and then you have to have connections. You need to know people in the ecosystem. All those things are there. But now, let me tell you one thing. With your educational background with Stanford and whatnot, you are also plugged into that ecosystem. Also, back home, you are such a great success story. A kid from Mexico is doing wonders here in California. There are investors in Mexico also who don't get opportunity to invest in Californian companies.
That's very
Just
true.
there. Without degrading your valuation, you can raise quickly from companies there. The guy that you spoke about from Middle East, who is a safety manager here, if he has connections in the Middle East, he can get you the funding. So for fundraising, don't limit yourself in a boundary.
Yes.
You think above and beyond. You can look at your home country. There are investors there. You can look at international money. But, do your diligence. The one thing you have to be very careful about, Oscar, is who you are doing business with.
Yes.
There are various types of people out there who will some charge money to raise funds. But if you are in the network, go ask, does it make sense? Just don't start signing on the blank paper,
Yep.
on the signature block. Talk to me, talk to other people,
Yeah.
Find a mentor, Oscar, that they will help you in navigating this thing. If you need any introduction with Tech Coast Angels or anything, I'll be more than happy to do that for you. You have attended my Startup Game Changer event. You have attended Thai events. I feel a connection. I'm also an entrepreneur with the Startup Steroid, the D-Flow platform.
Yes.
And under that, what we are trying to do, Oscar, is to give entrepreneur a complete startup ecosystem, from mentorship, from if you're looking for digital marketing help, if you're looking for accounting help, if you're looking for R&D credit, 409A evaluation, cap table management, and we have trusted partner. This is what we are trying to build here, so that so that the entrepreneur, the startup founder should be laser focused on two things: development of their product or platform, getting net new customer month over month, and getting funding. These are the three key things that you need to know. There are services available who will help you in putting together your team in South America, in India, or the UR services, and so many things. Also look at the SBA loan. That could be another thing that you can take loan rather than giving equity. So all those things are available. Legal is very, very important. As soon as you start hiring more and more people here, Oscar, it is good to have a good, solid legal team behind you and get their approvals from day one, rather than signing on a bad deal and then trying to fix it in the future. The life of an entrepreneur is tough. It is not easy.
Yes.
And the only thing that separates you from the 80% of the startup founders who will fail is your tenacity,
Yes.
focus, and team.
Yes.
You have these three things, the rest of the other things will fall in line today or tomorrow.
Yes. So now,
Yeah, go ahead.
no, I couldn't agree more with you. I really appreciate everything you guys are doing, the invitation to this podcast, the expertise, the knowledge that you guys are sharing with us. I feel so grateful to be here in Orange County and get to know all of you guys and the work that you're doing. What you have said is the truth. This has been, for me, has been one of the hardest things I ever done in my life. It's definitely a roller coaster. It's up and down. But if you don't have that passion for what you're doing, for the impact that you can have, you might as well just say, what the heck, I'm just gonna go and find me a full-time job. But then it comes the next day, you're like, a customer tells you, hey, I love what you're doing. I love your product. We want to get more. and they pay for it. And then you get this, motivation that you didn't have the day before. You're like, okay, we're doing something great. Let's keep on this. Let's keep doing this. And it's not easy. But again, if you know that what you're doing is serving a need, is solving a problem, that's really when things change for you. We have been, again, being a founder, it's not easy. But then being a minority founder is like, it's sometimes I kind of joke with people and I say, you know, Reid Hoffman, the founder of LinkedIn, he quoted this thing of, if you're a founder, you jump off a cliff and you build the airplane on the way down. And I say, being a Mexican American founder is like jumping off the cliff with the sandbag on my back, attached on my back, because you don't have access to the same network. You don't have. They say, at the early stages, I'll go raise money from angel investors and family and things like that. I'm like, I don't have rich uncles. I don't have rich, family lives that will be like, all right, here you go, Oscar, 10,000, 20, 5,000, whatever. So it's not easy. I'm just so glad that we went through that. There was people that believed in us and helped us and got us to where we are. And we have this enormous potential right now. But definitely getting access to networks like the one you guys have and getting to know you, it's really super motivating. And I really appreciate all of the work that you guys are doing.
Yeah, thank you, Oscar. But, talk to me, reach out whenever you need any help.
Thank you.
Or even if you just need a sounding board. I might not understand your industry, but I understand business, that, what will work or not, So you can, I can be your sounding board.
Thank you so much.
I love what you're doing. I came to US at the age of 26, 25 years ago, 28 years ago now. I have gone through those groups, and this America is a great country.
Yes.
It is so much more. It gives you the opportunity to grow. You can do anything that you want.
Yes,
you are a testament of that. But not speaking a single word of English at the age of 21 to going to Stanford and then going to Alabama and building your company and now having paying customer here, raising funds, $1.5 million on stage. You have set yourself in the right direction. So much thankful. Not only that, you will become a motivating factor for so many other entrepreneurs from your reason when they see you. And for that, Oscar, and this podcast is for entrepreneurs like you. I would suggest, you should be more visible on LinkedIn.
Yes.
Small content out, just picking up your phone, recording something so that, you are also guiding your fellow entrepreneurs who still don't have the things that you already have, kind of thing. So just, giving back to the society. They will learn so much from you. And once everybody comes together in supporting each other and helping each other, then only the organization will go. What is happening at Irvine Tech Week or what I do at the Startup Game Changer event. And then, we all of us are just trying to build the ecosystem so that, we can help each other out in realizing our goals. So, but, I will also introduce to somebody who runs a cap table management company.
Listen,
you will be needing that as soon as and you might already have someone that you are doing business with. This is the company who will do your cap table for free for a certain period of time till you raise substantial funds. And 409 evaluation, cap table management, those becomes really, really expensive very, very quickly.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Yes, Kata is one of the biggest in this role, but, now with our network, we know new companies which are coming, which are giving a run for their money to Kata, the new upcoming startup founder who has done something, who have a lot of market share in various other markets in the cap table management software. So, I'll be making that introduction also. Before I let you go, Oscar, for my podcast listener, what is your entrepreneurial advice to somebody who is a budding entrepreneur, who is a budding startup founder?
My advice would be, pursue something that you're passionate about. Do it for the right reasons. If you decide to start a company just because you want to make money, that's fine. You can do that. However, there'll be times when things will get tough, and you will be, encountered with this questions of, with because basically, you are investing the most precious thing that you have in this world, which is your time. And if you are investing that time in something that you're not passionate about, something that you don't feel that it's going to bring that big of an impact, you will probably quit very easily and be like, all right, well, this is not working. I'm just going to move on with something else. But when you are passionate about something, no matter how tough things get, you will be able to overcome that, because you'll find ways, you'll find, solutions that you may not know are there, but they're there. And you start seeing the world differently, because when a customer comes to you and says that you're changing their life for the better, that is one of the best feelings you can ever have as an entrepreneur. In my case, that's the way I feel. And finally, I think that just picture that in your mind and go for it.